Here's a day in my life as a potter who randomly moved to New Orleans a bit over 1 month ago. My morning quote-unquote routine is basically just the exact opposite of those men that wake up at 3 a.m. to plunge their face into an ice bath for no reason. I wake up at 9, maybe 10. I am not a morning person, never have been, never will be. Then I kind of scavenge around my kitchen like a rat looking for something to eat. And I eat this standing up at my counter because we don't have any chairs yet in our new apartment. Then it is mandatory playtime with my pet rat Fergie. This absolutely must be done, otherwise he will expel all of this pent-up energy by ripping apart every single piece of furniture that I own, as he should. Then around noon, I finally mustered up the energy to leave my apartment, and I walked over through the French Quarter and up to my pottery studio. Then I flicked on my lights, and I realized that one of my public school-style ceiling fluorescent lights is not working, and I nearly electrocuted myself trying to fix it, so we're just gonna deal with a dark and moody ambiance today. I'm gonna be throwing all day, so I had a bunch of clay that I prepped earlier this week to make it easier. These are all wedged and weighed out to 12 ounces, and I'm gonna use them to make coffee cups, or as I like to call them, cafe cups. Hashtag marketing. They're basically just mugs without handles. Some people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that, but I've actually had more people request mugs without handles than mugs with handles. I don't exactly know why, but I do have a set of my own and I use them every day, and there's just something kind of chic about it. Like, look at me and my rustic little handmade cup. I throw these in repetition, which means that I make the exact same form every single time. It takes me 3 to 5 minutes to throw each cup, and I made 30 of them, but I did take a lot of breaks, and it does take time to film, so it took me about 4 hours in total. And then while I'm throwing, I've gotten in the habit of collecting all of the failed pots and the scraps of clay so that I can wedge them out and make a few extra things at the end. Clay is usually extra wet and soft, and so it can be a bit difficult to work with, but I found that it's really effective for making bowls. And who doesn't love big bowls? So I made a few of these big, wide, shallow ones that work pretty well as catch-all trays or as fruit bowls or serving bowls in the kitchen. And it was time to say goodnight to my studio. It was a little bit dirtier than I like to normally leave it, but it was getting dark, so I walked home during the sunset. Not to brag, but this is what I get to see every day. Anyways, that's all I did. Bye.